I would seek your indulgence and start responding to the points which members have raised. Sir, central government is slashing funds allocated for various schemes and therefore is able to maintain the fiscal deficit number as given. So several prominent speakers who spoke about slashing of funds at the revised its estimate stage. So leading them to conclude that public finance is not managed well, or it's a deliberate attempt, I would think, to mislead the House. It's not right to say, sir, that we have slashed funds, and I will get into the specifics. Before I get into the specifics, I'll also give a bit of a background. In the past, sir, success was measured by how much money was pushed out of the treasury, regardless of whether it was actually being spent or not. Money is allocated, money is given, it's gone there, it's lying there, whatever be the outcome. Thousands of crores kept lying idle in the bank accounts of implementing agencies. At the state government or while the central government, sometimes you borrowed money, you gave it, and we are paying interest on it. So it also created a huge float in the banking system. So clearly, a glaring need for reforms in that aspect was before all of us. So through the public finance management system, the single nodal agency, SNA Sparsh as we call it, we have now absolute visibility of where the money goes, where it remains, where it gets spent, where it doesn't get spent, and where it is lying idle. We have a clear visibility. And equally, this system has given us the advantage that just in time we can release for the state which wants the money for that particular purpose, and that will be based on the state's own share which is getting spent. So the state put their own share and spend the earlier installments given by the center, after which the funds under the scheme are released further to them. So strictly the money goes when it is required and gets utilized, and on getting utilized the second tranche goes, and so on. So sir, we do not blindly release more just because we need to book expenditure. We do not do that. We ensure that the money is released only when the ground level work demands it. And on that, the state and the center can have a conversation, and if it requires, we will release. So I would like to categorically state that there is no denial or stopping of fund to any state or any scheme. So, through the SNA Sparsh, therefore, we have created a system which is we have installed such smart staff fixed by the leaky pipes. Fix the
please, my dear, let her complete her speech, please, my dear.
This isn't slashing expenditure.
Please,
it's
my dear.
efficient and accountable governance. It's an assurance to the taxpayer that every rupee is accounted for. It's an assurance to the taxpayer, I repeat, that every rupee is accounted for. Sir, and therefore, I'm not just talking
you
here.
Please take your seat. Every time you cannot disturb the house like this, please take your seat.
I have introduced a new
Nothing will go on record except Finance Minister's speech.
I have introduced a new statement 4AA in the expenditure profile which shows fund balance under single nodal agency accounts.
He will reply all your questions. Please,
territories
take your seat.
in respect of centrally sponsored schemes. So, sir, the center's funds are not a free pool of cash. that can be used. It is hard-earned contribution of every Indian citizen. We refuse to squander this money simply to meet a deadline. We refuse to squander this
Please take
money
your seat.
just because we have to meet a deadline. There is a very transparent process and we go by that. The change in the allocations of budget estimates and revised estimates is a standard, transparent and healthy practice, which is not new to us, it's been there always. Sir, I think sometimes we have to get to some of the details. There's a poor history, for whatever reason. I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, but poor history for accounting or not spending fully, particularly in social sector schemes. And that becomes a very big issue when we have to talk about it. What are the causes, sir, for underspending? Policy paralysis, disdain for governance, poor policy planning and execution. So large unspent funds remain there, particularly in the social sectors, schemes, and I will now compare our 10 years with the earlier 10 years also. There can always be an observation saying, okay, now you have 10 years, why can't you? We are improving, but 10-year patch of the earlier government, look at the amount of unspent amount. Sir, 14 major social and rural sector ministries. I've taken them, 14 major social and rural sector ministries, compared 2004 to 14 with 2014 to 24. Because the concern comes about unspent money, you are remaining without spending, you're crunching that, and therefore you're having fiscal discipline, fiscal deficit number achieved. No, I want to tell you that between 2004 and 14, in these 14 major social and rural sectors, 94,060 crore of budget expenditure was left unspent during the UPA era. 94,060 crores. Now, between 2014 and 2024, that has drastically come down to 1%, meaning 37,064 crores is all that is left unspent in these 10 years. So when 94,060 crores of budget was left unspent, it made up for 6.4% cumulative budget estimate, whereas here it is just 1%. Under NDA, Prime Minister Modi's government, only 1% in these social sectors are remaining unspent. I want to place these data because it's important. Why? Just as questions are being asked about these monies are remaining unspent, you're crunching this number and therefore fiscal discipline, equally, the very same people would ask about, what's your debt? Why is it growing? Why are you borrowing so much? I find पारस्परिक विरोधाभास है इसमें. खर्च नहीं करोगे और खर्च हम ज्यादा कर रहे हैं मगर खर्च नहीं किया, और इधर बोल रहे हैं नहीं खर्च करो उधर मगर बोरोइंग क्यों बढ़ रहा है? बोरोइंग बढ़ेगा जब कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर बढ़ना चाहिए क्योंकि एसेट क्रिएट कर रही हो. So this mutual contradiction has to be resolved by people who are asking this question. Congress sheds crocodile tears about rising debt. Sir, you want us to borrow more money and release funds also to the states? I want to say this, sir. Government cannot borrow excessively. That's a principle which guides us. The Congress is obsessed about outlays. Kitna outlay? इसमें कितना दिया? कितना दिया? कितना दिया? मगर हम तो मांग रहे हैं कि पैसा भी देंगे मगर आउटकम भी दिखाओ. सो कांग्रेस को खर्च के फिक्र है, हमें नतीजों का फिक्र है. Naysayers, of course, will say, oh, this budget is parsimonious. Not at all. if you are conscious of the penny or the rupee, the paisa that you're collecting from an Indian citizen and wanting outcomes, you will have to be careful about how monies go, when they go, how much goes. And that is exactly the principle with which the prudential public finance management, which Prime Minister Modi guides us, is be sure that my money is not lying idle somewhere. You should know why it is lying idle, get the outcomes there. So that is the route with which we are going, sir, so that the zamana of 15 paisa only goes out of that money which is being sent to the state. वो चला गया. मोदी जी के समय पर हर पैसा जो जाना है वो जाएगा. इसीलिए 2014 से more than 48 lakh crores have been spent on various or have been sent directly through DBT to various beneficiaries. And because it is DBT, we have saved an estimated 4.31 lakh crores from falling into wrongful hands. That saving is very clearly paisa not being allowed to go to hands which don't have a right to receive that money. That is possible only because we have made the entire process digital and transparent. So 48 lakh crores have gone to people who need to get it, and that's not a small achievement, sir. Technology has helped us, I should concede that. So Congress party announces big, spend blindly without even accountability, without any accountability, borrow more, and ruin the fiscal discipline, which is not the story under Prime Minister Modi's leadership. Fiscal discipline, equally without giving attention to people who need those welfare projects. I will repeat that one particular scheme through which this argument holds validity. Oil bond issue, sir, which was created during the UPA time. We will be paying that even now. We are repaying it even now. My grievance with oil bonds, sir, is that it was never reported in their budget. कुछ और नहीं है, बॉन्ड रेस करना है, रेस करो, तो क्यों बजट में बोला नहीं है? उसको क्यों कारपेट के अंडर पुश करके छोड़ दिए? वो है. इसीलिए the basic principle of responsible budget making is something which we have steadily, and I'll tell you in a bit, how every year we've brought in greater transparency in our budget making process. Sir, another allegation is schemes have been announced without any budgetary allocation. Announce karte ja rahi ho, uska paisa nahi de rahi ho. So I want to say, sir, budget speeches give a policy directive also, other than announcing schemes. Or it may announce schemes with allocation, and sometimes it may allocate resources a bit later. So announcing schemes without allocation itself is not saying the truth, complete truth. I would like to say, sir, the number of instances when budget speeches earlier made had announcements with no allocation. But before I go into that, I will like to elaborate on, in this budget, 16 new schemes have been announced with allocation. 16 new. I can leave the list on the table, sir, with your permission, for any member who wants to see. 16 new schemes with allocation, and 4 schemes where existing schemes have been given top-up amounts as well. So 20 schemes with allocation, new ones 16, and 4 existing getting top-ups. But the earlier examples of UPA, where budgetary announcements were made, no allocation were made, that wasn't criticized worthy at that time, but when we do it, it's criticized worthy. But I see budget documents as budget speeches as much more than just giving schemes and allocation. They are also setting the direction. 2005-06 budget, sir, UPA governments. Manufacturing competitiveness program was announced as a new scheme with no financial outlay. Skills development initiative in the same budget was announced, no financial outlay. Mumbai as a regional financial center was announced in the same budget, no outlay. National Institute of Securities Market. It's a policy directive, and I can recognize that that's not a scheme in that sense. It was a policy directive given to a regulator saying, set up your own Institute of Securities Market. And that was only right. You couldn't have allocated anything. So, several announcements without outlay, sir. But no, it is sin when we do it. Tea industry regeneration. I want to say this now very clearly because I quote this from the 2005-06 budget. But मैं जरूर इसको बताना चाह रही हूँ क्योंकि वेस्ट बंगाल में चुनाव है, असम में चुनाव है. मैं बात बोल रही हूँ 2005-06 में टी सेक्टर के लिए कुछ अनाउंसमेंट हुआ. टी इंडस्ट्री का रिजुविनेशन के लिए टू फाइंड एंड उसके लिए वो सेक्टर क्राइसिस में है. सो गवर्नमेंट वुड, मैं कोट कर रही हूं उधर, would examine ways and means of introducing a program for massive replantation, unquote. कोई बजटरी एलोकेशन नहीं था उस समय. वो ठीक है, मगर इधर एक आध स्कीम का अनाउंसमेंट हुआ क्योंकि उसमें कारण है, मैं कारण भी बताऊंगी, मगर वो गलत है. ये क्रिटिसिज्म हमारे ऊपर डालने से पहले कम से कम उनके अपने बजट ही देख लें. प्लीज have a look at the budgets which you have announced, in which many schemes went about without any allocation. 2012-13 UPA budget, sir. Credit guarantee fund for education loans. No financial outlay. And that was setting up a fund for ensuring a better credit flow to students who wanted to take money. No outlay. Credit guarantee fund for skill development. Again, 2012-13 budget, no monetary allocation. National Mission on Food Processing, no financial outlay, even in that 2012-13 budget. Irrigation and Water Resource Finance Company का घोषणा हो रही है, मगर उसका भी allocation कुछ भी नहीं बोला गया. ये सब ठीक है, मगर हमारे यहाँ जहाँ 20 schemes का एलोकेशन के साथ घोषणा होती है, एक आध में जानबूझ करके एलोकेशन नहीं है, मैं कारण बताऊंगी, मगर वो गलत है. एक कैसे क्रिटिसिज्म हो सकता है सर? वन मोर सिमिलरली यूपीए बजट 2011-12 नेशनल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग पॉलिसी अनाउंस किए हैं. मालूम है कि पॉलिसी है वो, फिर भी 2014 तक, क्योंकि 11-12 के बजट है, 14 तक उसमें कोई कुछ एलोकेशन नहीं है, कोई कुछ ग्राउंड लेवल में काम दिखे नहीं, मगर हो गया अनाउंसमेंट विदाउट एनी एलोकेशन. वो ठीक है. सो क्रिटिसिज्म करने से पहले थोड़े सोचना चाहिए कि ये क्रिटिसिज्म जैसे बोलते हैं, यू पॉइंट वन फिंगर, दैट साइड 3 पॉइंट्स एट यू. ये तो कम से कम समझ में लेना चाहिए, आना चाहिए. सर, क्यों हम, उनके सरकार हो, हमारे सरकार हो, क्यों बजट में अनाउंसमेंट करते हैं बिना अलोकेशन? इसका भी हम महत्व समझना चाहिए. इन द इंटरेस्ट ऑफ द हाउस एंड द अदर लार्जर citizens who watch, I would like to state why union budget is more than just an accounting statement or allocation exercise. Very often, budget speeches set the policy roadmap for the government. Often, the government wants also to signal a shift in strategic priorities. So, announcing the scheme in the budget speech establishes that executive intent. सरकार की intent establish हो जाता है. फिर at an appropriate time, after proper vetting and clearing of by the competent authorities, the allocation will come through. In many cases, sir, the schemes get announced with some token allocation, 1 crore, 10 crore, 100 crore, depending on the scheme. Then a head of account is created in the ledger. उसके बाद ही उसका major allocation का announcement होता है. It can happen during supplementary demand for grants later in that year. Sometimes a scheme is announced, but it requires an enabling legislation. So legislation पारित होने तक हम इंतजार करते हैं, इसमें allocation नहीं देते. So I'm sorry, many of the वरिष्ठ members know all this. फिर भी क्योंकि opposition में बैठे हैं और criticism तो सरकार के खिलाफ करना है, so हम करेंगे. Every person, even remotely associated with the finance ministry, understands all this. But I was surprised to hear it. Sir, also, there was this a bit patronizing comment, if I may be allowed to say it. The budget is forgetful of the past. Budget is never forgetful of the past, at least because those which we don't need to copy, I will never be forgetful of the past. Sir, glorious past hai to cherish it forever. Remember it every time. Every time you make a budget, remember it. But if it is a tarnished past, मैं तो संभाल कर रहना चाहती हूँ, उस पास्ट से सीखना चाहती हूँ, गलती ना करें. So we don't forget, this budget is not forgetful of past. It remembers the fragile 5 days. It remembers the double-digit inflation days. It remembers the policy paralysis and also the scam-filled days. It remembers banks were forced to lend just with a phone call without doing any KYC or anything of that kind. Deficits were kept high and spending on capex was reduced. So, shrinking opportunities, and उस समय का नारा ये था jobless growth. मैं ज़रूर ये सबको ध्यान में रखूंगी, forget नहीं करती हूँ past को, मगर उसे सीखने लायक विषय ही सीखती हूँ. Of course, I don't need to elaborate about the even earlier license quota Raj, how that economy had to be changed and so on. इसीलिए 2014 में ना करते हुए 10 साल के बाद हमारी सरकार व्हाइट पेपर ले आए on the Indian economy, and it was laid in this house in February 2024. So past को forget करना impossible है. So now I want to just say, I'm not sure how to take this. Former FM P. Chidambaram ji, in 2023, addressing the audience in a media conclave, had said that he credited the BJP-led NDA government for its single-minded focus on containing the deficit and on debt management. He said it in 2023. And today, in 2026, that circumstance which he took into consideration and gave this comment has actually only improved. It is actually only improved. So there's no way that comment which was given in 2023 can be changed. If anything, appreciation will have to be more. But today, we find that you're finding fault with our debt management. It doesn't add up. So then, I move on to talking about, again, debt to GDP, which was raised by, I can't see the honorable member, Raghav Chadda. So, this is not a new change, sir. When we are focusing on debt to GDP, it's not a new target. There was an amendment done in 2018 to the FRBM Act. In that itself, that change was brought in. So I just want to inform the member that if he had not noticed it then, it's worth noticing that it is not new. Also, sir, the point that the middle class is being sandwiched was raised. I'm sure many honorable members thought they had some common cause with that allegation which was being made. I want to very clearly bring the data out to say the conclusion that the middle class was being sandwiched was being made because personal income tax collections exceeded the corporate tax. That is fundamentally misdiagnosing the situation. There's no evidence of middle class suppression. Actually, there is enough and more evidence of historic middle class expansion and formalization driven by the economic reforms that have been undertaken in the last 10 years. High personal income tax collection is not necessarily middle class being crushed. I'll give you the reasons why. There are more people today with income that is taxable. More income is visible and in the formal sector, and it is being reported. So the economy is no longer narrow, and it's not just confined to the elite. Middle class basket is widening. Between 2013-14 and 24-25, the number of taxpayers, that is, people filing returns or with TDS deducted, rose from 5.26 crore to 12.13 crores. So within the last 11 years, more than doubling has happened in the income taxpayers' numbers. So obviously you learn more from it. And what is the growth therefore, sir? CAGR of 7.9%. So that is the largest structural expansion of the middle class in this country. So suppression cannot happen if the tax net is widening, and if the net itself is widening, it's not because of suppression. People are coming on board to pay. And coming on board to pay, not because we are bringing more rates. On the contrary, even as this expansion is happening, income tax limit has increased to 12 lakhs for everybody, and for those in salaried class, 12.75 lakhs तक आपको टैक्स पे करना ही नहीं है. So suppression का बात कहाँ आती है सर? अगर 12.76 लाख तक salaried class को टैक्स ही पे करना नहीं है, कहाँ है suppression? Second, standard deduction has also been enhanced. New tax regime has simplified filing and due diligence करने वाले काम को भी simplify कर दिया. Next generation GST rationalization has also lowered household costs. उनके monthly खर्च कम हो रही है क्योंकि GST में हर item का rate कम हो गया है. Inflation also is at a historical low. So somewhere middle class के ऊपर ये शब्द suppressed cannot coexist with real incomes rising and with record low inflation. And there is an upward mobility of workforce as well. So ये थोड़ा मुझे समझने के लिए fact रख रही हूँ sir. So I move to Honorable Member Wilson. He said, rising debt again. Itna debt, it's not good. So I just want to highlight the fact, sir. The principle is one, we have to take care of reducing debt, whichever be, center or state or everybody. And in this, not a member of this house, but with your indulgence, I'd like to quote the former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Edappadi Palaniswamy Avargal. He said, and I quote, "For 73 years, successive governments in Tamil Nadu accumulated roughly 5 lakh crores in total debt." 73 years it took 5 lakh crores to be accumulated. But in just 4 years under the DMK government, since 2021, 4.56 lakh crores have been added to this pile. 73 வருஷத்துல பண்ண அந்த அமௌண்ட்டை 4 வருஷத்துல பண்ண கணத்தை இவங்களுக்கு போகணும். So அது Tamil Nadu state government order borrowing ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಐತೆ ಪೋಲ ಆನ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಗವರ್ನಮೆಂಟ್
She is just giving a reply to you. You by the let lobby our
Sir, we are listening to her very quietly. She is also talking whatever she wants to tell us. She is giving advice. We'll take her. But the Tamil Nadu government has committed nearly 4 lakhs crore debt. Earlier it was like that. Are you speaking on Tamil Nadu budget or Indian government budget? This is not fair because election is there. Because election is there and AIDDMK
No, only 1 minute.
leaders quote she is doing it.
Only 1
Outside
minute.
speech, who is nothing to do with this house. This is unfair, and I condemn
She is
such things.
giving an answer to a question raised by a member of this house. Please. Tamiduraji, please take your seat. Tamiduraji, please take your seat. Tamiduraji, please take your seat. Please take your seat, all members. Please.
Sir, thank you very much, sir. Sir, when you stand up to answer criticisms, you will bring in facts. Sometimes facts can be very difficult to digest, but I will state it because they are facts. Okay, sir?
No. Why you are worried about? She is quoting on quotation only. Please, Tamiduraji.
Sir,
Nothing will go on record. Please, Tamiduraji, please, my dear. Except finance minister's reply, nothing will go on record.
please sit down.
Please, all of you, please take your seat.
Sir, with your permission. Yes. Since John Brittaji is saying something, on that specific point I want to answer him, sir. Honorable member Tambidurai, senior member, who's been, deputy speaker in Lok Sabha, has said something, I value it. But you think it's because we are in alliance. What is Dr. Shri Mallikarjun Ji Kharge standing up for DMK then? Is it not also alliance? Yes. So that's okay. This is not. What is that? John Brittas, keep off.
So for all of you,
Don't you say that here.
Bitaji, for all of you, our opposition leader has given the answer. Please,
Yes,
my dear.
that's all
Please,
right. I
please.
take it. The moment
Minister, please address to me. Please.
Sir, Chairman, sir,
Nothing will go on record except
Sir, sir.
finance minister's reply. Please,
due
my dear,
respect
please,
to
my
the
dear.
LOP, the moment he stood up, I sat down to hear his view. So I respect it. But if there are insinuations that because they are in coalition we are speaking, that is also coalition, sir. Sir? Oh yeah, that's also in doubt now. Oh, John Brittas, that is in doubt. I correct my statement because Congress is not sure whether they want to be with DMK or not.
Finance minister.
Okay, and in Kerala too, you
Honorable finance minister, please address to me, please.
Sorry.
Tamiduriji, you please take your seat. All of you, please take your seat. Please.
Sir, now I'll specifically answer Kanimuri NVN Somu, who's an honorable lady member of the House. She said,
No.
Sir.
Sivarajinji, you please take your seat. She is replying to another member's speech. Let her reply.
Honorable member Kanimuri had raised, Tamil Nadu there's nothing for Tamil Nadu in this budget. Sir, I just want to mention what is in this budget and maybe answer her question. So, what did Tamil Nadu get? High-speed rail. Chennai is a major node with 2 high-speed corridors. Hyderabad to Chennai, Chennai to Bengaluru. Second, sir, rare earth corridor. Tamil Nadu is explicitly named for a dedicated rare earth corridor. And if I may add, the only state to have two corridors, defense corridor, rare earth corridor as well. Third, Adichanallur Heritage Development is selected among 15 sites for experiential heritage development with conservation labs and curated public access. Fourth, ecotourism trails. Budget has announced bird watching trail in Pulikat Lake and mountain trails in Podigai Malai, both of which in Tamil Nadu. 5, coconut promotion scheme which will replace old and non-productive trees with high-yielding saplings in major growing states, inclusive of Tamil Nadu. 6, of course, Kerala.
Already Tamil Nadu is being...
Sir.
No, I want to ask you one thing. You don't want the coconut grower to get benefited. You tell me that. No, please take your seat. Why you are interfering? Let every coconut farmer get the benefit of it, please.
First listen to Tamil Nadu.
Finance Minister, please. Finance Minister, please address to me.
Sir.
Please address to me.
Fisheries, duty-free high seas fishing and tripled duty-free input limits, 1% to 3% for seafood processing, boosting coastal Tamil Nadu incomes and exports. Other than that, sir, this is the 6th item. 7th, textiles, modernization and employment program under Samarth Plus, Samarth 2.0, skilling for Tirupur, Coimbatore garment clusters is not for Tamil Nadu. 8th, leather and footwear, duty-free inputs extended to shoe uppers and export window extended from 6 months to 1 year. Import something duty-free, do your work, export it not within 6 months, export it even after 6 months till 1 whole year. That will give comfort to small manufacturers. So leather, and that will directly cut costs for units, small units, which are in Ambur, Vaniambadi and Chennai. That's not Tamil Nadu, sir. Then, automobile and electrical vehicles, customs exemption on capital goods for lithium-ion cells, critical mineral processing, strengthening Chennai-Hosur EV ecosystem. And the 10th, sir, girls' hostel. 1 hostel per district. 38 hostels can be built in Tamil Nadu. That's not for Tamil Nadu, sir. And even better. And even more. And even more. Sir, when we said city economic regions, where we are giving from Government of India 5,000 crore per city economic region for 5 years, 1,000 crore per year. Tamil Nadu's urban agglomerations like Chennai, Coimbatore, Madurai can all be contenders for it. They can get it for themselves if only they come and bid for it at the earliest. Similarly, sir, B, you asked for it.
No. But
B,
Minister, please address to me.
yes, sir. Sorry, sir. Regional medical hubs. India's healthcare capital, everybody claims, I also accept it. Chennai is well placed to secure one of the 5 medical hubs that we want to establish for care, education, research, and for Ayush. They can have a medical hub. Similarly, university townships, Tamil Nadu can bid along CBIC, that is a Chennai-Bangalore corridor, or the East Coast corridor, which goes Chennai to Kanyakumari. Have a university township or a chemical park. 3 plug-and-play parks can be aspired for. Manali, Kadalur are all places where chemical industries are located. So are these not for Tamil Nadu, sir? Sir.
Tamil Nadu MP should thank Finance Minister now.
Sir, health. There are several members. I'll name some of them. Randeep Surjewala ji, Ashok Mittal ji, Rajiv Shukla ji, a lot of them mentioned. Heal in India is something which we announced several budgets ago, and we continue to build on that. Now 26-27 budget strengthens the entire health value chain. Healthcare infrastructure is being improved. NIMHANS is a very reputed institution in Bengaluru. We want to build one such an institution somewhere in the north. And whichever state wants to bid again can aspire to have it. Other than that, the institution which exists in Ranchi will be upgraded. Other than that, the institution which exists in Tezpur, both of them will be made regional apex centers. So we're improving on the infrastructure. Also, we are expanding by 50% the emergency and trauma care capacity in the district hospital level all over India. For the district hospital, emergency and trauma care is being improved by 50%. Also, sir, the workforce pipeline will be expanded decisively because 1 lakh additional allied health professionals for the next 5 years will be created, and they will be serving within India or find jobs anywhere else as well, but they will be qualified. 4, a care system, a care ecosystem is also being carefully nurtured. 1.5 lakh caregivers for elderly, for wellness, and for medical device operations are being readied. This year itself, they will be available as skilled caregivers. So other than this, 1,000 crore for allied health professionals is also being allocated in this budget. More than that, the medical value tourism, 5 regional medical and integrated hub is being planned. It will combine hospitals, education, research, diagnostics, and Ayush facilities. All of them will be available in that large hub. So India wants to position itself as a healthcare destination. Other than this, the 7th point on healthcare, on health sector, Biopharma Shakti, 10,000 crore mission is being created with 10,000 crores being provided. And that will take care of getting biologics and biosimilars, particularly for diseases like cancer, diabetes, chronic diseases, life-threatening diseases, and so on. This will be supported by 3 new and upgraded NIPERs, which is the National Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research. Already there are 7 NIPERs in this country. We will be adding 3 more to them. A national network of 1,000 accredited clinical trial sites will also be established so that science-based approvals can be given for tests that they do. So that is also for health, sir. And the 10th point that I want to say is full customs duty exemption for 17 cancer drugs have been given. Inclusion of 7 additional rare disease have also been made so that duty-free medicines can be brought for them. Reduction of TCS on medical treatments, treatment remittances which go out of this country through the LRS. People send money because they have to go get treatment. For that also the TCS has been brought down from 5% to 2%. Then 11th point for healthcare. 3 new All India Institutes of Ayurveda will be set up in this country. Upgraded drug testing labs, expanded evidence-based research will all happen. The WHO recognized traditional medicine center which is also going to be expanded. Other than that, sir, for Divyangjan, for assistive healthcare, we have made assistive technology marts from where they can easily take equipments which they need for ease of living, and we have enhanced the capacity of Alimco, which produces such assistive devices for Divyangjan and for senior citizens. So finally, allocations, sir. Department of Health Research sees a significant jump, 4,821 crore, which is a 23% increase is being allocated. 4,200 crores is being given for PM Abhim, which actually is for improving health infrastructure in the states. So that also goes towards state. It is not being kept here. We recognize that health is a state subject, but despite that, we will enable them to improve on the health infrastructure. Sir, the next one, sir. The poor, there is
Please,
high
bide,
inflation.
please, bide.
There's this,
Please, bide.
there is this claim, oh, there is high inflation and therefore common citizens are suffering. I want to highlight the facts, sir, basic facts. Inflation is at a historic low, even though growth is at a high. There is no inflation crisis in India today. Inflation has been tamed, anchored due to stability and the steps taken by the government. Retail inflation has actually been on a downward trajectory from 6.7% in FY23. It has come to 1.7 in FY26. I want to highlight the fact that there will be a new CPI basket and announcement being made by the MOSPI soon. That will be updated. Consumer price index will be determined on that based on a new base year. But in the current series, based on that 2012 base year, sir, which on the basis of which data has been released from January 2015, clear 10 years. In this data cycle of the CPI, the inflation has never been lower than this. 2011-12 base year, उसमें 2012 का number को 100 मानते हुए, if you go on calculating after that, 2015 से वो data भी बाहर आ रही है. 2015 से लेकर 25 तक, इससे कम कभी inflation नहीं हुआ करता था. It was never low as much as it is today. So people who are saying high inflation, it's hurting people, kindly look at the data. And just want to compare it with advanced economies, sir. UK is at 3.4%. US is about 2.7%. Many emerging markets have not seen this kind of a number. So India is actually maintaining its inflation low. Not by chance. It is actually a strategy. I want to clearly tell that we have made sure not just blunt monetary tools, but we have a calibrated mix of fiscal policy, trade policy, and also supply side interventions that we've made over and over again, as a result of which today inflation is where it is. Just for example to say that there are conscious efforts taken by the government which is resulting in inflation being low. Dynamic duty management. When edible prices go up, we make sure that the basic customs duty is brought down proactively so that, take the example of June 2025, sir, it was reduced to 10%, as a result of which immediately we could get some edible oil and make sure the market didn't suffer for want of edible oil. So when at the same time, in case the price comes down too much, that our farmers might get affected, we quickly go in and raise it so that farmers don't get affected. So dynamically managing duty on commodities which can come into the country. Second, actively maintaining a buffer stock so that as and when the prices are likely to go up, we release the stock and calm the prices down. This is actually validated by data in the last 4 or 5 years. We also have made sure that railways will make sure logistics is provided for edible items which have to move to different parts of the country at a lower price. Every commodity going on the road with diesel costs and truck and logistics delay might increase the price. So we have ensured that railways will be the route through which many of these goods will move to different parts of the country. So that's also part of the dynamic management. Third, sir, GST rate rationalization, all of us have spoken about it. We kept doing it in piecemeal. At one go in September 2025, I will thank the GST Council. Unanimously, the rates were brought down for across the board to all common man items. And the fourth, sir, we give support to agriculture. India recorded a historic cereal production of 3,320 lakh tons in 24-25. So when our annadata are producing and giving, we are able to also make sure that the prices come down.
No, announcement come morning. No.
Sir, inflation control, thereby, inflation control has been completely, because of the dynamic system with which we are working in tandem with the RBI, it has been kept below the tolerance band. Sir, employment and unemployment has also been discussed. I would like to place the facts, sir. Indian labor market is undergoing a structural transformation with record low unemployment. India's unemployment rate has actually fallen